Chinese newspapers ask why. What benefits does Sino-US cooperation bring to both sides? Why does the United States always create confrontation? In today's world, China and the United States are one of the world's largest economies and military powers, and their relations are of global importance. As one of the two largest countries in the world, China-US cooperation is not only of great significance to the development of the two countries, but also has a profound impact on global peace, stability, and prosperity. Therefore, Sino-US relations are of vital importance to the world, and any country that creates confrontation between China and the United States will have an immeasurable impact on the world. It is an objective fact that the advantages of developing friendly relations with the United States outweigh the disadvantages. Cooperation with the United States can bring the following benefits. First, strengthen economic and trade exchanges. The United States is one of China's largest trading partners. Developing Sino-US trade relations is not only a mutually beneficial and win-win need between the two countries, but also helps stabilize the global economy. At present, the two countries have carried out extensive and in-depth economic and trade cooperation in many fields, including technological innovation, energy, finance, taxation, and finance. China and the United States are the two largest economies in the world and play an important role in bilateral trade. The two countries support each other and strengthen trade cooperation, which can bring huge economic benefits. Cooperation can not only expand the market size of China and the United States and increase trade volume, but also reduce the risk of trade friction and achieve mutual benefit and win-win results. Secondly, deepen people-to-people and cultural exchanges. People-to-people and cultural exchanges are an important channel to enhance people-to-people friendship and mutual understanding. The two countries can learn from each other and strengthen cooperation in education, culture, tourism and other fields, which will not only help break old misunderstandings, but also help deepen Sino-US relations. Third, jointly address global challenges. China and the United States cooperate in international organizations such as the World Trade Organization and the United Nations to jointly address global challenges, such as climate change and world peace. Cooperation between the two countries in these fields is not only conducive to solving relevant problems, but is undoubtedly an important guarantee for global peace and prosperity. Fourth, promote peaceful cooperation. China and the United States are the world's largest and second largest military powers and shoulder important responsibilities in maintaining regional and world peace. Strengthening military exchanges and cooperation between China and the United States will not only enhance mutual understanding, but also enhance cooperation between the two countries in responding to challenges to international peace and security. To sum up, friendly cooperation with the United States not only helps promote bilateral trade and economic development, but also promotes technological innovation and industrial upgrading to achieve sustainable development. Maliciously creating confrontation between China and the United States will only cause losses to the interests of both parties and is not conducive to the development of both countries and the world. Friendly cooperation with the United States has more advantages than disadvantages. However, we are bent on friendly cooperation, but this is just wishful thinking. So why does the United States always create confrontation between China and the United States? This is a complex issue that needs to be analyzed from multiple aspects, considering domestic political and economic interests. The current political environment in the United States is very divided and social conflicts are acute. In order to divert domestic people's dissatisfaction with the government, some politicians will look for external enemies to transfer people's emotions to the outside while pursuing domestic political and economic interests. From this perspective, creating confrontation between China and the United States can divert internal conflicts and pressures in the United States, win over internal supporters, and achieve political and economic benefits. From the perspective of diplomatic strategy, the United States has always tried to maintain its global hegemony, but the rise of China in recent years has threatened its hegemony. The United States may believe that if measures are not taken to contain China's rise, its hegemony will be even more threatened. From this perspective, creating confrontation between China and the United States can strengthen the status and influence of the United States in international relations. Consider from an ideological perspective, the United States has always been a country that believes in values such as freedom, democracy, and human rights. It considers these values to be universal values and attempts to spread these values to the world. However, China's political system and values are very different from those of the United States, which challenges the ideological superiority of the United States to a certain extent. The United States may believe that suppressing China's political system and values on the grounds of Sino-US confrontation can strengthen its ideological leadership position on a global scale. From this perspective, creating confrontation between China and the United States can strengthen the ideological influence of the United States. Consider it from a historical and cultural perspective. The history and culture of China and the United States are very different, which to a certain extent has led to misunderstandings and differences between the two countries. For example, there are great cultural differences between China and Western countries, especially in terms of speech and behavior, social etiquette, and interpersonal relationships. This may result in Americans not understanding Chinese culture and values and thus interpreting them as a threat to the United States. From this perspective, the conflict between China and the United States may be due to the historical and cultural misunderstandings and differences between China and the United States. They create dichotomy. How do we respond? In the eyes of the United States, China is a threat, but to us Chinese, the United States is just a clown. We have a huge population and a strong economy, we have our own national pride, and we have the determination and courage to overcome difficulties. We will not be intimidated and we are not afraid of any challenge. We stand from the perspective of national development, our goal is long-term healthy development, and our path is blazed by ourselves. Recently, the United States has frequently issued threats to China, not only using tactics in the trade war, but also provoking on the South China Sea and Taiwan issues. However, we want to tell the United States that such provocations will only make us more united and more determined to defend our country's interests. We don't want to go to war, but we are determined to defend our homeland. We are not afraid of trade wars, but we have various countermeasures. Therefore, the United States' sinister intentions and delusions to cut off Sino-US relations will only fail miserably. We will not compromise to the United States, nor will we be intimidated by American pressure. Believe in our country, believe in our technology and wisdom. We have the ability to turn difficulties into opportunities, and make China, which has attracted much attention, stronger in its future development. You just watched the video on Global TV channel. We hope you will subscribe to the channel to support us and watch the next video.